Good afternoon. Okay, so a lot has come up about the unsuccessful work attempt with the Social Security disability cases and SSI. And I just wanted to throw out there the definition and where you can find it, because we do a lot of talking about it. We had a recent video concerning how you need to think about whether you have had an unsuccessful work attempt, also called a failed work attempt, that could help you have an earlier onset date for your disability claim, which would mean more back benefits in your pocket. It can also affect your primary insurance amount if you succeed in proving an unsuccessful work attempt and thereby getting an earlier onset date found to be true in your case. That can increase your primary insurance amount, whether in a small way or in a bigger way. So it's really, really important to not fail to consider this because it might apply to your case. All right, so if you go to DI space, I'm just going to be very obtuse about this, space 11010.145. It's called Unsuccessful Work Attempt, UWA, and this is an overview of it. So I'm going to put this up in our glossary section, but it will tell you that the definition of an unsuccessful work attempt, it's an effort to do work in employment or self-employment, so either one, that discontinues or reduces to a level that is non-substantial gainful activity. That's the SGA number we're always talking about. And there is a video on that you're going to want to see if you're not familiar with it. So if someone makes an effort to be employed or engage in self-employment and it discontinues or reduces below that threshold amount, so it's no longer substantial and gainful, but something less or zero, and that happens after a short period of time, because of the impairments or the disabilities that you're complaining of, or it can be if there is a removal of special conditions related to the impairment that were important and necessary for for you to continue working. The short period of time they're referring to that you were working over SGA has to be no more than 6 months. And that seems to be a hard, fast number, not something that they can have discretion to push around as far as I can tell. So if you have that unsuccessful work attempt because it was SGA, but then it reduced below within less than 6 months, the work performed during that time period does not prevent a finding of disabled. In fact, if you have this, even while you have a pending disability claim, you could ultimately, usually if it ends and then you say go to an ALJ hearing, you can argue that it was an unsuccessful work attempt and that your prior application date and alleged onset date still applies because you were disabled before then, and this was just a failed work attempt, because the SSA does encourage us to try to go back to work and be productive and not have to be on, benefits. So if that is the case, that entire work that you worked, and it could be where you're making huge monies, there's really no limit necessarily. You are trying, it's more of the time frame, and that there will be definite strong medical proof that those impairments that pre-existed and post-existed, that period of failed work attempt, are the reasons why you couldn't continue any longer. The amount of money you earn during that period also is not something that's going to be offset from your eventual award of back benefits. So you get to keep the money you earned, and you also get to have the case continue and potentially and presumably prevail, and you get both the disability payment months for those months and whatever you earned is still yours. Okay, so it's such an important concept. It applies when you're applying for, to win your benefits, and it also applies later, although there are some considerations to take into account that I won't go into here. But it can apply later when you're in your extended period of eligibility, for certain reasons. Okay. All right. So UWA, unsuccessful work attempt, also known as the failed work attempt. super important. We use it so frequently. It's like a regular consideration. I almost want to say it's helpful in 50% of the cases. You know, to get more back benefits, to get an earlier onset date, which can affect when your Medicare kicks in, it can affect your primary insurance amount. And of course, it's going to affect the back benefits amount you're going to get. Okay. So keep that in mind and check it out. Bye now.